with you every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. And this evening, I have a real powerful discussion that's going to take place. This evening, all you listeners who are waiting to hear about sugar and pressure and to hear about what can be done in terms of improving your health, we are taking that usual little twist. This evening, we're talking about technology. Every now and again, we talk about conservation, we talk about technology, we talk about innovation and things like that. And that's what we're going to do this evening. And we want to engage you in some very important things that may be happening in your lives, is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For that matter, I have with me a guest, Mr. Petrus Gumbs. He's the CEO of the National Center for Technological Information. Before we get into hearing from him, I want to really say something that many of us overlook, because technology today is about communication, how we communicate and what we communicate with. It's about efficiency and productivity. It's about simple things like accessible shopping, online shopping and online activities, whether it's online banking or just buying that simple little thing that you don't really need and you don't really have the money for online. Let me put it that way. But technology is about faster decision making. Technology is involved in healthcare. Today, healthcare is, the technology and innovation is just really big in that area. And technology today, adopting it, not only as a nation, not only as a business, but also in your personal life, can really give you that competitive edge, can give you that edge above a lot of things. Really it's about efficiency. It's about information. It's about education. And the way we learn in today, a lot of people have been able to obtain their degrees online. And that's why every 2-3 months, I shift a little away from the core health related issues that, I'm beating and drumming and talking about, and we're getting into technology. And many of you may not have heard about it, or many of you are very familiar with the National Center for Technology Innovation. And so this evening, I want to welcome Mr. Petrus Gumbs, the CEO of the NCTI, who is going to tell us a little more about the NCTI. And I really want him to tell us what is the NCTI? I won't say what the hell is the NCTI. I say, what is the NCTI? What does this name really mean? And what is it all about? And what are the new plans? Let me say, just sometime last week, the NCTI had something of a relaunch. You could say a rebooting of the NCTI to showcase a lot of what it's doing. And up at the
NIS conference
room, packed NIS conference room. There were persons there, people, the Minister of Education, all the Ministry of Education top brass, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning is involved for the ICT, the board of the NCTI, the board of the NCTI is chaired by Willis Williams, one of the entities involved in this radio station, WFM radio station. Mm-hmm. And a host of it, from community college students and students from everywhere to people who were involved in radio, people who were involved in banking, people involved in business. It was a real packed event. And I think they were wowed by Petrus Gumbs and his delivery and so forth. So Petrus, tell us a little bit about the NCTI. People want to know these abbreviations, they throw people off a little bit. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so I want to say good night, good afternoon to everyone that is listening. Good afternoon, good night to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So yes, so as Dr. Gerald Thompson mentioned, my name is Petrus Gums, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the NCTI. Now, the NCTI, as you would have heard, it stands for the National Center for Technological Innovation. Now, the NCTI has a very unique role in the ecosystem of technology here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that role is to really be the place where persons can come, whether young or old, and say, you know, I want to find out more about computing. You know, let's say a more mature person, 50 years old, they cannot go to a secondary school. I say, I want you to teach me more about, you know, computers. They can't go to the community college. You know, they can't do that. But the NCTI is the place that you come and you're able to sit and we can discuss with you, and we'll sit with you and walk you through what is it you don't understand, what is it you would like to know about the computer, whether we like it or not. In the near future, IT, information technology, gonna be an integral part in our life moving forward. It's already here where persons are shopping on their phone. I know persons who run their business directly from their phone, their small business. They post video, they capture pictures, they do everything from their phone. They write a letter on their phone. So a lot of a small business, they want assistance in how to navigate the technology. The NCTI is a place you come to find out what is it or where we can help you to find your place within this technological arena. Now, the NCTI, one of its primary goals is to equip person through training, and eventually, if you like to, have a certificate that is recognized in business places around St. Vincent, locally, regionally, and in the near future, internationally as well. And these certificates are accredited by various organizations internationally, also regionally as well. Persons we have who want to do, like, for example, we have a vast majority of persons who want to do their ACCA certificate. They want help with tutoring to get a better passing grade in the ACCA certificate. We not only help with your tutoring and find innovative way to get you the help that you need, but we also that place where you can get the exam done. Students who want to do their SATs, you know, we have a situation where we used to have to travel to Barbados and those countries, Trinidad, to do the SAT exam. We no longer have to do that. NCTI is where you get all of that done. So NCTI become that beacon.
SATs are like people who
these are students who want placement in different colleges
in the United States.
Yeah,
so have to do SATs.
So these students now, what they do is that instead of going through the regular route,
so before they used to have to fly to Barbados and Trinidad to do that,
to get those exams
and
done.
now they can do that
right here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, right? So these are students, and we support that. These are students who they don't want to go the normal route of going through the community college and for university. No, they want out of secondary school. Yeah. While in secondary school, they are practicing for these exams. And as soon as they finish the CSEC exam, they're able to do these exams as they come out of secondary school. So normally they would have to travel to a different Caribbean island, which at the expense not only for doing the exams and paying the institution, but also for the cost of traveling. So these are things that can be done here now. So the NCTI is that unique organization that you can work with any institution and organization, whether you want to learn a new skill, you want to, as they describe it in the industry now, you want to reskill or upskill. NCTI is a place where you come to get that done. Doctor, you know, a lot of people don't know where the NCTI is located.
Well, where is it located?
Right. I normally give the direct. No, you would have brought in the conversation, and I doubt some of our new listeners might even know that building, because it's only when I get there I know it was the old Banana Growers Association building. Yes. Right? Nobody will know what that is. So I normally describe it as where, you know, planning is up by the wharf area there. We are upstairs that. Opposite, there's a wonderful organization, security organization called Paladin. Opposite that, we are right downstairs there. So a lot of people find it difficult to locate the NCTI.
So that's the road from the Seventh-day Adventist Church
Right.
down to the Customs building.
Yes.
You're halfway down.
Right.
in the
Right.
old
right.
Banana Growers Association building.
Building. Yes.
The blue building is
The
still blue.
No, it's not blue right now. It's a little bit off-whitish.
Off-whitish, okay. It used to be blue.
Yeah, it used to be blue. It used to be blue. And they come upstairs there, and our staff will ask, what is it you like to do? One of the things that is so unique about the NCTI is because I know I've met a few parents, is that sometimes the academic route is not really geared for everyone.
Mhm.
So sometimes we have persons who are youngsters, whether male or female. This is not for them, and it's not working for them. So they want a different alternative. So a lot of parents would say, what is it that you have? What is it you guys are doing that I can get my children involved, or get my student involved? So from that angle, we tackle a lot of courses similar to the secondary school.
Yeah.
And we are currently working with the community college so that persons who come and have a certificate by us can put that through the community college and move forward.
Okay.
So some of the courses that persons can get involved into, quite obviously information technology.
Yeah.
They can do their EDPM. They can do their Excel. Even for businesses, they could do their Excel. They can. Right now, we are looking very closely to working with the TechVoc to bring some new technology, some cutting-edge technology to the platform, to their plethora of organization I have, because we see that, for example, a lot of students who have worked with, a lot of them love cars.
Yeah.
And one or two of them get into auto mechanic. But really and truly, their limitation to training and learning auto mechanic, because to do that, you have a garage that has the actual vehicle that has those things. And the technology we are looking to bring is to be able to allow students to easily access all these different courses. Let's say, for example, that you realize that today, the type of vehicles that come into St. Vincent, you can't use hammer and chisel on them. Something like, you go and pong and
computerized.
You can't, heavily
Yes.
computerized.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, before the mechanic even touch the vehicle, he has to research the vehicle.
He has to scan it.
He has to scan the vehicle. He has to do an in-depth study of that vehicle before he actually go in. When you take your nice vehicle to a mechanic and you see he come with his dirty hands and a hammer in his pocket, you have to drive the vehicle back home. The mechanic ain't ready.
But if he came with a device called a scanner,
now we know he might have some idea.
And it's amazing how these scanners could pinpoint exactly what is wrong.
What is wrong with it?
Yes.
So some of the limitations that we see, is that we see a lot of hybrids on our roads. We now start to see EV, full-fledged EV on our roads.
Mhm.
Those can't go to any mechanic at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, nobody is going to volunteer their hybrid or their EV to a garage to be experimented on.
Okay.
So the TechVoc and so might be limited in that area.
Yeah.
We are bringing live simulations for students who start to work on that will react just as if they were in a regular
this
vehicle.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I remember the person who was the head of the auto mechanic section telling me, oh boy, he was expressing to some degree some sorrow, but that he was also happy. The prime minister had gotten into an accident and his car had gotten written off. And he was sorry that the prime minister's car got written off, but he was happy that the vehicle was eventually handed to the technical college so that they could work on it. And that's how they were able to get a live car. So he was happy about that part of it.
Okay.
But
so there's a silver lining in every disaster.
But there's a silver line. But the thing is about it is that that was one model of vehicle.
Yes.
It wasn't an electric vehicle.
Right.
It wasn't a hybrid vehicle. It wasn't some of the other type of Audis and so.
Right,
I
right.
might want to buy a car now, and people telling me, well, don't buy these
Because we don't have no one here to
we
fix
have
them
no
as
one
yet.
here to fix it. So how
Yeah.
so how is this these kind of training courses able to really help?
Now,
these things.
what is happening is that with these technology that we are bringing, especially in that arena, which we see is a big deal in St. Vincent now, it's safer for the kids. It's safer for them to get into. It's a actual live simulation that they could work with. Eventually, maybe the only thing that they will need to go to the garage for, maybe like a practical experience. But they'll be able to do
I
that.
could imagine you are supposed to solve a problem,
Right.
and if you turn the wrong knob, they'll tell you, well, you shouldn't have turned this knob, and so that gets
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had
marks in your brain.
when we were talking with the vendor, discussing getting the terms and stuff, we got a little preview of it, and I knew of it, but not really. And the level at which they presented it, they are in those technology, you're able to pull apart a whole differential, pull apart a whole transmission, the engine, every model that you have, you can pull it apart,
and
right?
then put it together,
and then you put it together, and at the end, the vehicle has to start. It's a simulation. People, I don't think people understand the idea of what a simulation is. Let's break it. I want to break it down a little bit. Now, recently, even in our development, we change aircraft.
Yeah.
Right? From I don't know, but I know the bigger. I don't know, it's twin props or whatever single engine. But we changed to a bigger model aircraft. Yeah. All the pilots had to go and retrain. Yeah. Now I want us to bring us to reality. It does not mean that these pilots go on a live plane and do their training. They can't afford a multi-billion aircraft just for training at the same time. So what they have to use is simulators. Simulators just like, that will react the same in any environment. Simulators all the time. Race car drivers use simulators to get acquainted. Aircraft pilots use simulators to get acquainted. And then when they think they have done enough time on the simulator and they're familiar with that aircraft and their instrument on the simulator, then they police them under the care on a real aircraft. So what we are bringing is those kind of technology now to our schools here and institution here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is one of the role of the NCTI, to seek out new technology, make partners with different institutions and bodies that can bring benefit to our country here.
Now, to tell me a few about this sounds exciting with the what other courses can be made available through the NCTI?
Right now, we have a default number of courses that we have as core courses that our local community get themselves up to. We have certificates in, the Excel. We have certificates in QuickBooks. We have certificates in, accounting, other accounting applications. We also have certificate CompTIA, that is dealing with networking, switches, and everything like that. We have Network Plus, and we have A Plus if you want to learn the hard way about computers and everything like that. We have all those other certificates that are available. The new and exciting ones that we have coming that we are really happy about, is one like the one with the auto mechanics, that is Electrude. That's a course that is very, very wonderful. We also want to give the highest level standard certificates here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, which is ETA. This is a body of professional organizations that standardize areas like fiber optics, right? Fiber optics, instead of getting and there's a common terminology now that is floating around in our country, because we have, I think it's Digicel who bring in fiber optics directly to your home. And we looking for, I know there's a need for fiber optic technicians. There's the installers, there's the designers, there's the outstation persons. There's a whole plethora of careers that's in fiber optics that we are hoping to bring the certificates here. A big one that we are looking to bring here as well is the idea and certificates of cybersecurity. Yes. And this, Dr. Thompson, is an area that I don't think we are so familiar with, right? we will have, and I normally make the joke with my because I used to teach at the St. Martin Secondary. We will have students come, like Form 1s, the Form 1s and the Form 2s. They will come, sir. You know, I met this girl online. You know, right there when they start with the girl talk, I'm interested. I was like, okay, you haven't met this girl online? Okay, yes. Explain to me about the girl you met online. Well, you know, she said that she's from in around Kingston. You know, she was very pretty, and she sent me a link to click on. You know, and then once I click on the link, no, don't laugh, It's a real thing. Don't laugh. You know, say, did you click on it? Well, yes, sir. I want to see the girl. Yes, sir. I click on it. And then what happened? Well, sir, I don't know. You must go back and check. You clean the next day. So the computer not working the best, you know. So I say, because you see that link you click on, you should have never clicked on the link. But so I want to speak with the girl. And so much of us are being caught by this. You know, even at the workplace, we get emails, we get you know, some popular ones like, you know, I am living in Africa and I have so much millions of dollars I want to get out of the country, and I've selected you to receive these things. These are things that we need to start learning, because a lot of organizations now are turning to technology for ease, efficiency, and effectiveness.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but more need to be done in that area.
Well, let me just ask you, because I know you were focusing on this training in cybersecurity. But when you mention that, I wonder if some people would be inspired, boy, I have to get that training. And some people may feel that, well, boy, I want to stay away from the computer altogether. I don't have anything to do with it. Should that be the case? Or is today you really have to get engaged? You have to learn something.
Today, definitely, you can't avoid it.
Yes.
Whether you you want to do it as a full-fledged certificate or get certificate in it, or you just want to make yourself aware or informed about what's happening, it's critical that persons get this done. We can because turning away from the computer is not going to help, because your device now, your phone, your tablet.
Yes, but let me ask you. You mentioned in certificates and so. What's the difference between getting a certificate and, let's say, getting a degree and getting a master's, getting these sort of things in a particular field?
Wonderful. The degree, which is almost academia, you know, you go, you study, you do your research. Those are things that we welcome in our community. Those are things that is a must.
Yeah.
You know, but the certificate is a little bit more specific, and it supplements degrees and masters.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, I would do a degree in computer information system. Now, in that degree, I might not have really delved deep into, say, networking.
Yeah.
I might just skim maybe, so let me say 10% of networking while completing my degree in computer information. Enough for me to really say, if I want to do this, I could research and get it done. But then we will do what is called the CCNA certificate.
Okay.
This is an internationally recognized certificate. They dive straight down to the nuts and bolts of what networking is. You calculating IP addresses, you setting up network, you do, you know, you make sure that when you send the information from your computer, let's say, for example, you at your office, and you realize that when you try to go to, say, Best Buy, it shows up unable to reach, or it gives you a blank screen and say 4.1 error or 4.4 error, one of those. It just gives you a blank screen. The network specialist is the one who comes in, not necessarily the one with a degree, the one that has the certificate in CCNA. He comes in and he most likely can troubleshoot the server. He's gonna try and trace where the information is dropping off the internet network, and then acts and recommend support or resolution that you could get yourself back onto the internet.
Yeah.
So the degree gives you that research and gives you that information about, hot topics and so forth. The certificate one, it supplements the degree, it supplements the master's and give you more
Let me
in-depth
just
knowledge.
try. So, tell me these scenarios. Suppose I'm an elderly person. I am 60 years old.
Yes.
Is this beyond me? Should I be bothered by this? Should I, if I am a 16, 17-year-old male who, didn't go on to secondary school, should I be engaged? Should I be looking at some of the courses at
Definitely.
NCTI? And if I was working for a business, or suppose I was a business owner and I had some staff, 3 members of staff,
Right.
and we are selling things online and we are trying to attract visitors, tourists to come to our service. Should my 3 employees be getting some sort of training? And does the NCTI can offer them any sort of training? So the elderly lady
to the young guy,
young male, and people who are in business, working and so forth for business persons, how can they benefit from the NCTI?
The NCTI is definitely the place for all the category that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Reason being, the elderly or the more mature persons who might have a fear of using the computer. Because remember now, there is a movement in our government where we consider the digital transformation.
Okay.
Where the government is looking to put possible websites in place online for persons to take care of the bills, persons to take care of their license, person to apply for their ID, everything.
I can clear barrel.
Yes.
I can pay my license, my driver's license. I can do all those things online instead of being online. In a line
to go and clear those things,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Standing up, you hear people complain of being in the sun, thing like. So the government is on the path to do that, which I really applaud them for. So we really can't get away from it quite soon.
Yeah.
So everyone has to at least have some kind of knowledge online to see what is happening, to know, understand. So the adult and the mature is not they're not supposed to hide or run away from the computer. It's to learn and understand the computer, and the NCTI will help you there. Right? We will be patient enough to work with you one-on-one to get that knowledge, get you that knowledge what you need. Now, the young guys who, as we mentioned before, these might be the guys who schooling cut it for them, the regular schooling. So, but they still want to get some sort of knowledge. They still want to be a productive part in our community.
Yeah.
The NCTI is definitely the place for you. So you come in, you say, "Oh, I would like to do. What do you have for youngs?" Because fathers, I notice a lot of fathers will bring their son there and say, "Okay, then I want my son to be part of this. What do you have up here for them?" So we have things like web designing. We have the Microsoft suite that they can understand and work with, which the information technology CSEC course is surrounding that suite. We have, if they want to do QuickBooks, if they want to learn those kind of stuff to make themselves more marketable, the NCTI is the place for them. Now, just recently, a small business owner came and he was like, same scenario you give. I have a staff and I realized that we need to generate a little bit more traffic, but none of them really understand or work with the social media, how to use the social media, how to use the internet tools or the tools to really make us more viewable, if you want to say that word. And I say, if I introduce you to Google and some of the tools of Google, you will be surprised at the amount of things that you can do, and we can help you with help your staff to get there. Because with Google, a lot of people don't realize they get a free website. All right, they could get a free website that could display everything for them.
Okay,
you just have to have.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you get a free website. Yeah, the Google Suite, you get a free website. You want to display, you want the person to register to your organization, you get a free form. that you can send out to your audience. You get a free emailing system that you can use. Now, a lot of people might say, that these things are not free because, everything on the internet is not free, but that's a conversation on a different point. But for the businessman who's trying to make a foothold and don't have the kind of collateral to put up his own little network infrastructure, these are the tools that they need to learn. Now, sometimes, because they're small business and they want to, at some point, they want to expand themselves. And that's where the accounting comes in. So somebody in the team at some point have to be able to manage the receipts and records all the income and everything like that. We have the QuickBook training that they could get into to certify someone. So when like say they get audited, they have everything in order so that the person is auditing them or the organization auditing, they have everything in order there for them to see, and not everything is straightforward. Now, one of the things that we know, if they want to get a small loan at the bank to further, they have to present some sort of accounts. You're not going there with a whole bag of receipts. You're not going there with a compilation receipt. You go in there with some Excel sheet coming out of your QuickBook application. And you need someone to present that. So that, the bank could say, okay, then this is a legitimate stuff. They get the things in order. We see an income and expenditure and all kind of things like that. The NCTI is the place to come and get all those training that you need.
You could do that for business.
Yes, we do that for business. We do that for business. We have a young lady who came recently. Not going to mention her name. She came recently and she's a little at home and she does a little, boutique from home and everything like that. And, I think her other half was on ship and her other half encouraged, say, listen, you need to learn to do Excel and learn to do little Microsoft. And when she came, we sat with her and she said she never knew that, calculations could be done so easily using Excel spreadsheet and everything like that. And I even for the show, I said, listen, not only this, but when you finish doing this here, if you want to go to the bank to get a little loan to get more inventory, this is what they need to see.
These days, to apply for a visa in the US Embassy, you need to do it online. And more here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I mean, there's a lot of online banking you have to be familiar with. So, we're going to take a little break here right now. And when we come back, before we open up the lines, when we open up, it will be 457-9997 or WhatsApp 457-997. We'll take your calls and so forth. But I want to get a little idea. The NCTI has been around for a little while. So what have they done? After the break, tell us what have they done? We've been talking about where they're going. What kind of things are coming up for the future. But I want to get an idea of what sort of things that they've done in the past briefly and so to begin.
All right, wonderful.
People's Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical, skin and body care needs. Located on Grenville Street in Kingstown. They open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Call them today at 784-456-1170. People's Pharmacy also stock vitamins and supplements, personal care items, toiletries, children and adult pampers, and much, much more. And of course, get your prescriptions filled by a friendly and professional pharmacist. People's Pharmacy. Come in today and let us serve you.
Yes, so we're back. Your health matters, but we're talking technology because that matters too. Matters in a big way.
But if you think about it, Dr. Thomas, we're talking about technology, but technology is in health as well.
Yes.
The technology is there's different things in terms of even that the NCTI is looking into, public health records information where persons are able to, like, for example, I have a relative who may traveling to do care. And instead of traveling with a big folder with all the documents and all the tests, it's on a flash drive. Going to maybe another country to present to another doctor. So I don't want us to, separate the two because technology is all around, even in that, in health as well, Yes.
Yes. So in the past several years, the NCTI has been around, has done a lot for people in all walks of life. Give us an idea of one or two of the things that it has done and so in the past?
So the NCTI has been very instrumental in working with persons from the aspect of like of business incubation.
Okay.
Right? Now, this I don't know. I myself was not aware or understand what is a business incubator, but from when I start working with the NCT, I get a little bit more understanding. So I think there's a few projects where funding came in for the NCTI to work with individuals who might have businesses that they're growing on their own, to give them training in managing business, also giving them some understanding of what we call financial intelligence and that kind of stuff, and provide space for initial space where they could set up their business and assist them to grow until they're on their own and they could move on. So the NCTI was very, very instrumental in that. And I think that is one of the hallmark of the NCTI. We also work very closely with a lot of government agencies to get their employees trained in different aspects of what that particular government agency might be working with. I know, like, for example, one of the government arms was stating, okay, then we have a lot of persons here, but we want to start getting them, more familiar with the computer. The NCTI is who they turn to get all those persons come in. So the NCTI has been around and doing quite a bit behind the scenes at that time, not so much in the forefront, but behind the scenes to get a lot of persons in.
I remember when they had when they had the laptop distribution program.
Yes.
The NCTI trained 700 teachers in the delivery of application maths and English and geography, how to teach them online and how to interact with their students online. It was amazing. And but in terms of students today, let me get back to that. They're looking for some new stuff.
Right.
New stuff. They want some of the high-tech stuff.
Yes.
What are any new programs? What kind of partnerships do you have and you've been engaging in terms of delivering things to some of our young people?
It's a real soft spot that you bring there, because my first love is children, or youths and so forth. I think it is our duty to really pass on knowledge to them, the enthusiasm to them as well. So during my time at the St. Martin Secondary, I would have, because the syllabus could be a little bit monotonous, same thing year after year, we used to look for ways to really kind of entice the students to do different things. And I think by now, person would have know that I run a SEM program here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and it's to expose students to different technology. So right now, at this very moment, we have an initiative with the Ministry of Education. I want to thank Ms. Juanita King, Curriculum and Chief Executive Officer of Education, for allowing this to happen. We have an initiative at the moment where we are currently training 20 teachers so that they can help their students in a simulated environment, a robotic simulated environment, to get students more appreciative of the idea of programming. Now, a lot of parents and a lot of persons might say, oh, well, my son loved technology because, he could change the color on the phone, he could change the avatar, he could change the look of the phone. But that really is not even scratching the surface of
simple stuff.
Yeah, that's simple stuff. If they play with the phone long enough, they can do that.
Yeah.
Where we need to get our students is to be, if they don't like it, but be familiar with the idea of coding, but present it in a way that is easy for them to understand. Not really forced upon them, but they have to really see the need for it and understand it. Apps don't just appear on your phone. They don't fall off the sky, or they don't just drop out of the App Store or the iTunes Store. They don't do that. It's persons create them, learn, build them by code and put them there. So we need to get our students there. So what this initiative is not just for the students, about the teachers as well. And I will mention here that when we started this initiative, We have a teacher from Beckley who stated that she is not familiar with any IT and she is not too sure how she's going to perform. I told her, don't worry, we will walk you through. And right there, after we finished within an hour, that teacher was the first person to finish. You know, and her objective was to just learn. We gave them 2 lines of code. We explain what those 2 lines of code does and the effect it has on the robot. They see a visual representation of what the code does because the code will move the robot a particular distance. And they know are to use that 2 simple lines to navigate that robotic unit in a different angle. And once she get the logic down, she realize in our old people language, she would say, well, if my old tired brain can do this, then my students can do this. So she bring her students with them. So we at this moment, if my numbers are correct, because each school are supposed to bring a team of 5.
Okay.
Right? And we have over 100 students coming forward. Over 100 students coming forward from different. One school bring 5 teams, and the schools that are coming, and I'm really happy about this, are the schools that normally don't be seen in the mainstream competitions.
Yes.
We'll have the Bookman Secondary. I'm so happy for them.
Yes.
And that's my Leeward school too. So if I have to reach down there personally to help them, I want to help them. We have we have Chomuka, we have P.T. Bodell. We have all these schools that normally don't show up in mainstream competitions that are coming forward because now, once we grab the students and we say, listen, you can do this, and you see that robot, you have to move it from A to B, and these are the code. Tell me a child who you give a remote control to and sit down whole night, figure out how to move that car. Show me one.
Well, I can show you one who does it. They'll feel proud. Proud themselves. And their parents will feel proud.
They feel happy.
And I tell you, this is the way this is part of the digital transformation.
Digital transformation of what
we're transforming apps and how government is doing business, but people have to be able to be engaged using it as well as creating it. And yes. I really love that. I really love those ideas.
And the ideal thing is about what we are doing, eventually for competitive nature, because St. Vincent should have a very competitive streak.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a small competition between the various schools, which we're really looking forward to. But this is a unique competition because we raised it with the teachers. We say we're gonna allow the students all the resources that they could bring to the table to solve the problem we're gonna give.
Who's behind? Who else is sponsoring these kind of things?
Oh, we have well, right now we're gonna ask small businesses to come on board as well. Yes. But right now the Kingston Corporate Credit Union have placed have placed their full support behind it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and they have a wonderful history of supporting educational events and personal developments and support for individuals. So they have been coming. So we told the teachers, we say in this competition, the students have every resources available to them to complete the task. Whether they want to use AI, whether they want to use the internet, whether they want to, because it's an open flow, they're going to have this competition. Whether they want to look across the partner and steal the partner code, that is up to them. Yeah. Because the end of the day, it's happening in the real world. Yes. If you get that piece of code, are you able to use that code to make it work for you? Okay. Because you don't know what they're doing with that code.
That's interesting. Approach. It's ruthless. It's ruthless approach.
A
go-getting approach.
Yes, we go give it because that's what happened.
Now remember, folks, listening, 4579997. You want to squeeze in a question? 4579997, straight or WhatsApp. We're available to take a call. I wonder, as you said, 100 students have been applied. In terms of all your other courses and so, how are you going to make that? I mean, this is a program where you're but how do you really get out that information to individuals who may not even be listening this evening or who might see this recording sometime later on? How do you really get out the information to them
that we are doing. That this is what
is something that they really need to do. Yes.
Yeah, and, first of all, we are doing a lot of social media work as well.
Okay.
So they can come and look at our Facebook page. We have revived it. We are constantly posting information about what we are doing and everything like that. And also, once you sit, if you're a parent of one of these children and you see what they're doing, you yourself one of the things that you have to do, is ask, what is it you're doing?
Yeah.
Now, we do have that tendency now of taking away devices. To each home, they have their own rule. And
Take
so
with the
forth.
cell phone.
Yeah, take with the cell phone. Take with their tablet. You have to manage that at the same time. But before you even do that, sometimes you have to ask, what is it they're doing? Get to understand what they're doing. And based on what they're doing, sometimes you yourself might say, well, I think I need to learn some of this as well.
Yes.
And where do I go? Of course, you can't go to the secondary school. They don't have the time and resources for that.
Yeah.
You might not be able to go to the community college because they are strictly academic work and everything like that. So they come to the NCTI. And say, I see my son or I see my daughter involved in this whole programming thing. I myself have one or two ideas. I would like to build an app too. How can I do that? And they'll say, okay, then we could guide you on that.
Okay.
We could guide you on that.
Okay, because somebody was asking a question. What is the educational establishment approach to open source software and the encouragement of children to contribute? Yeah. And let me add to that.
Yes, go
Let me
ahead.
add to that. What's your views on AI? Should we be running from it, or are you going to be doing any training in AI? But to answer
So we have two questions there, basically, right?
Yes.
No, two important questions there. And I don't think persons understand, because that person is asking from a very technical standpoint when it comes to open source. Persons don't really understand that. Before I answer that, we'll backtrack a bit. Persons don't really understand that all the application that they're using is not really theirs, right? They're actually leasing it. Your new Microsoft Word, you pay for it, but you don't really own it. After a while, if you didn't pay a subscription, Microsoft lock you out. That is not something you own, correct? Now, the open source, the idea of open source is that when you buy it or when you get everything, including the source code, which is the code that make that application runs. You can change it, you can adjust it, or whatever the case may be. Once you pay for it, or whether you don't, because a lot of open source is free. Once you download it, it is yours. And some example of open source from an operating system standpoint, like computer. For operating system, we have Windows that people buy. Yeah. We have Linux that you can download for free. Yeah. You have Ubuntu that you could download for free. The laptops, the first cohort of laptops that was bought in, right? That was given to the students. I think they got like Edubuntu. Yeah. That was a free operating system. Yeah. LibreOffice, that is the same as Microsoft Office. It's there for free. Those are open source. Once you get those, you could download. Now, once in education, while I was teaching, I always support open source, because sometimes some of the costs for these applications are very expensive, and students who want to buy it for their little computer, mommy give them a little computer, they have to go and buy it. I say, no, you don't need to really buy it. Yeah. You just could download this one. It's free. You can use it. It does the same as the Microsoft Office, and you could do all the tools that you want. So we do support, children and so forth in terms and teach them and educate them. But the thing is, I don't think our current IET syllabus does a lot in terms of talking about the benefits of it. So we focus a lot on proprietary software, So then, we support them like that. And the area with AI, well, it's now becoming unavoidable. Right? Okay. AI is now becoming unavoidable.
That's interesting.
Right? Mm-hmm. One, I think that we should now be focusing is the responsible use of AI. Yeah. Right? The responsible use of AI. Now, if we really understand AI properly, and if we really use it properly, let's say, for example, the one that they had, ChatGPT, there's a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
What parents don't understand with the proper use of ChatGPT, they really have a teacher in their home,
Mhm.
They have a teacher with their child at home. Because if you ask ChatGPT to say, solve for X for me in a step-by-step format, it breaks down that mathematical equation for you step by step and explain every step for you as you go along. Now, if you ask it, here's the difference. If you ask it, give me the answer for this mathematical equation, it gives you the answer. But that is not what you want your child to learn to do, because at the end of the day, when they go in the exam room, ChatGPT is not with them.
Yeah.
What you want to ChatGPT to do for you is to ask ChatGPT to explain how to solve for X, and they get that.
Yeah.
They get that. So in that context, we are not going to run. We can't run from it. I think it's right now, it's unavoidable, the responsible use of it.
Now, the NCTI is, you could say it's about 22 years old.
Okay.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's about that, give or
Yes,
take.
22, 23 years old. I mean, I recall
Mhm.
when it first started, there was a data processing unit in the government where they had tapes. They were recording all the
Yes.
data on tapes come out, And this was headed by a gentleman named P.G. Lewis.
Yes.
He eventually became an Anglican priest after he left the government service. But during those first few years, when I got into government, we set out to establish the NCTI.
NCTI. Yes, I know.
And in those early days, we employed Charles Burke.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah,
And,
he's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful job.
Mhm.
But I want to make an announcement to everybody that P.G. Lewis passed away
Yes.
sometime last week. And, would always, I wouldn't say he was a controversial individual. He did things in some unorthodox ways, but he really helped us in those early days, getting the NCTI up and running in his formative, in his early form.
Yes.
And I want to express my condolences
to the families.
To the family of P.G.
Yes.
Let me say in the last few minutes, the person responded, 90% of the internet backbone is run on open source software. Should children not be encouraged to design prompt statements for AI programs? That's interesting. Eh?
Definitely. And that is where we want, because at this point, and I will mention that to that question, at this point, this is my personal opinion. At this point, students, we find, are running away from IT of that nature of programming, because they have the preconceived notion that is maths related, is heavily maths and everything like that. So they think it's super difficult. Yeah. So that is why the initiative that we are doing right now, with the students, is to introduce them and show them, it's the idea of prompts and the idea of programming at this point is like the English language.
Yeah.
It's not like the DOS back in the day that we have to type in DIR and every kind of stuff. It's like the English language. So it's much easier now. And by getting them to be comfortable like that, we can now say, okay, then once you understand this, you're comfortable with this. And one of the things that they have to understand, that when you come to this arena, when you come to like the programming aspects, you come to like the persons mentioning the prompts and so forth, you're going to make mistakes.
Let me tell you, is there a phone number, the NCTI? Is there an email, anything like that you want to put out? How, if somebody listening to this program, somebody who listens to this program want to really connect with the NCTI, would you encourage them to go online?
Yes, they could go online. All our information.
How should they come to the once blue building, now white building.
No.
On
No.
what street is that? That's Sharp Street. What street?
Yeah,
is
that is Sharp Street.
Sharp
It's a
Street.
Yeah, yes.
From the Seventh Adventist Church down to the Customs, right there. Come right.
Doc, and it's funny that you mentioned that as well, because even while I'm at the office, you notice the phone book has moved from like an inch thick to now. I don't even know. The phone book has now like thin, right? Very thin.
Oh boy.
That is where technology. That is an effect of technology, because persons now are not listening with the book. So you do a quick search, NCTI SVG or SVG NCTI. You pull up all the information on your phone. You pull up phone number. You pull up direction.
So you go Google and you search NCTI.
And you yes.
Yeah.
No, while at the office there, I would ask one of my colleagues. I say, "Oh, call this office for me." And you see they're going through the phone book. I said, "What are you doing the phone book still? Those still exist?" And then she said, "Yes, I'm going to the phone book." And I would say, "No, just type in, just look for it on Google. Look for it. It's there." And it's so intuitive now that if you do it on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And you find the NCTI on Facebook or whatever, you will see a phone icon right there within our category. You just click and then call it.
And call.
Yeah. So there's no need for, nothing is really hidden.
In a few minutes,
Mm.
what do you expect for the NCTI really in 2025 in terms of public participation in all age groups and so forth? How would you encourage persons?
Well, what I want to put out there for persons who getting to know or just getting to know the NCTI is that when they come to the office, they calling us. We want them to explain to us what are their challenges. What are your challenges? And once we get the challenge, we can tell you what we can do for you.
Yes.
Because right now we're going to put forward a catalog of courses that will be available from simple fundamental of computer, introductory computer, introductory into Excel, introductory into database, to advanced application such as AI, understanding AI, studying AI. Those are the kind of things that we want. So when they hear the NCTI, it should open up and say, listen, where do I have to go overseas? Do I have to sign on with an overseas college? No.
It's right here.
It's right here. Right here, right on your doorstep. Just call and we will say, how can we help you?
And there'll be courses that you go in
Yes.
to the NCTI labs, and you're saying that there could also be online
courses.
that
Yes.
you could do it from
Yes.
the comfort of your
Right
home.
now, we have persons who are sick at home and want to continue their studies. They do it through the NCTI online.
Home.
We assign you trainers. That is what we are here for.
All right.
Mhm.
I see. I got a Dave Roberts. No, we can't take that one.
Mhm.
Dave, you're calling a little late. I wish we should call it earlier. But you too, Dave, could basically hook up on one of these computer programs. Everybody, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank
Gums. Yes.
Mr. Gums, who is the CEO of the NCTI. Look out for the NCTI.
Yeah.
Search to where it's located. If you can't find it, you will find it online.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And go team up with them for one of the courses that they offer, whether you are linked with the Ministry of Education, Technical College, whether you are somebody who's into splicing and laying down of axial cable and all that
Private
stuff.
businesses.
Whether you just want to stay in connection with your daughter at university, all sorts of things. Pamela, I'm not saying Pamela.
He's my good friend still. It's okay. He's my good friend still. NCTI is place for them to
Mr.
be.
Gums, I want to thank you very much.
Appreciate
All
from
the
being.
best.
Thanks everybody for listening.
People's Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical, skin and body care needs. Located on Grenville Street in Kingstown. They open 8 a.m. to 8